Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. We have a jam-packed show for you guys this evening. A lot has gone down with it being the first day of spring football. Anthony Richardson at the NFL Combine breaking absolute records, looking like an absolute beast. I know a lot of the FSU and Miami fans talking a lot of shit, right? And talking about, Gator fans starting to claim him. We're going to get into all that. And then obviously we're going to talk about Billy had a presser today where he spoke about coaching, the guys that are up and coming, the defense, where we're at, and then the quarterback room. How does that look? We got some footage that we want to go over, talk about that a little bit. Again, it's going to be a fantastic show for being a Saturday afternoon. It feels good that football is back. Seeing the clips and seeing the spring ball got me fired up. I feel fired up to even be on the show, to be able to sit here and talk football with you guys on this wonderful Saturday afternoon. It's exciting. It feels good. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably aren't even in right now, might watch this later on, because we're not prepared to be home right now to watch football. We're out getting around. It's spring. I did some planting today, put some plants into the ground, did a little TLC to the yard because we're starting to, make that transition. Probably a little spring cleaning. Wife's doing some spring cleaning around the house. But football is here, and we got to talk about it. We got to break a lot of things down. First thing first we got to get into is Anthony Richardson. Just doing a lot of good things in the NFL Combine. And I want to talk about this because we got Holly going in the chat because we Gator fans, we're excited. It's good to see Anthony do a lot of things well. And here's where I want to note, okay? Look, I understand. I'm saying this to a lot of my friends of Anthony breaking records. He broke the jump record. He's doing a 4.4. I don't think he broke any records for that. Let me see. I have the screenshots here of what records that he broke. And it's a blast to see everyone talking smack. So by the numbers, comparing him to Cam Newton, okay? 6'4" and a quarter compared to Cam Newton is 6'5". Weight 244 to 248. Anthony's 40-yard dash, a 4.4 compared to a 4.6 in Cam Newton. His broad jump was a 10.9. Cam Newton was a 10.6. And then vertical was 40.5 to Cam Newton's 35 inches. And that was the record was the vertical jump with the 40.5. Mind you, he's 244 pounds, just getting absolute speed. 4.43 officially, Ushi. I love it. I love hearing that. That's great to hear. Now, something I want to go over here, okay? Something that I want to address. I'm sending it out to, again, a lot of my friends that aren't Gator fans, but we've been talking smack, going back and forth. And I just get a text right now, and it goes, RG3, how did he do? Here's what I want to note, okay? What I've been claiming the entire time is that Anthony is going to go higher than what we all predicted originally. Right? And I said this too, and I came out and made a video about it, got a lot of flack for it, and now everything that I said is coming true. I said verbatim, he's going to go to the NFL Combine and blow the roof off that son of a gun, just looking like an absolute freak, and here is what he's doing. He's doing exactly what we anticipated doing. Now, I'm going to address this into two parts, because then the next thing is Florida just ruined talent. They can't develop anybody. They look like idiots. We'll get into that. What I'm trying to address right now, and all I'm saying is that by him doing all these things is going to increase his value. My buddy goes, how did RG3 do? RG3 went second pick behind Andrew Luck. I understand he went to the NFL and did not have the career that he anticipated having and we all thought he was going to have. We don't know what's going to happen. I understand that. Anthony has some weaknesses. We all know that. We've talked about that as well. Okay? However, my point about this the entire time is that what he's doing right now, he is separating himself from everybody else. Holly in the chat, well, him running a 4.4 doesn't mean anything. All it's telling, why do they run it then? Why do they use this stat if these don't mean anything? They mean something to these guys. That's why they look at it. It allows for them to see their athletic ability. They love seeing it. Him being able to jump and do a broad jump, you're right. How does any of this correlate to him being a quarterback? It doesn't correlate too much. But they see this physical specimen and they go, wow, this is great. What I find ironic is Trey Dean ran a 4.75, which is horribly slow in the 40-yard dash. Now, his speed does translate to his position a lot more. But when that comes out, everybody wants to go, oh, Trey Dean sucks and all this stuff, which, look, he's going to have a lot of flack. It's going to hurt his draft stock. My entire preface here, my entire point, okay, are these things that we're talking about, we're looking at right now, the broad jump, the 40-yard dash, the vert, are they going to translate to him being a GOAT, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time? No, I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that to be true. But I do believe that they're going to make him way more valuable than he probably was coming into this NFL Combine. And I thought about this today as well, too. Him having very little experience in college, at this point probably is benefiting him, to be honest with you. Because again, what he had to deal with, you can't really count a sophomore year. I mean, a sophomore year was just full of highlights. It was literally a highlight reel when Mullen was there and Emory was still a starter. Then he comes in. He is the starter for the Florida Gators. Obviously doesn't have the season that I think we all would have liked him to have, that I'm sure he would have liked to have, right? But because of the dysfunction that is the Florida Gators at the moment, probably benefits him. Because what's going to happen, again, he comes out, pumps out these numbers, pumps out these verticals, these jumps. He's probably going to do pretty well with throwing and passing. All that's going to happen is Florida's going to get even more flack, which that should be anticipated. If you're Coach Billy, you just move on, you dust it off, no big deal. Because he'll be like, well, obviously, Gainesville doesn't know what they're doing. They don't know how to handle great talent because they had somebody here and they ruined it. Here's my second opinion here. If he ends up going out and he goes to first round and he has a phenomenal first year in the NFL draft, we as Florida fans need to learn to shut the fuck up. Okay? Because what happened is, and myself included, now we had reason to be frustrated because of the certain things that we saw, but we are starting to get a record of pushing people out, whether it be coaches, players, etc. And with the portal and all these things, we Florida fans probably should pipe the fuck down for a little bit, okay? Because we come in here thinking we have this ego and that we know it all and that we're the ultimate, armchair quarterbacks, and we're pushing these guys out. Because looking at him now, it's like, damn, did we miss out? Are we going to look back at a year and be like, we effed up? If we would have showed him some love, had a little more patience, imagine going into this next season with Anthony still there. Now, would he have stayed regardless if we showed him a lot of love? I don't know. Because I truly believe him coming back only hurts him. Right? If we're being honest here. Just because, again, with the little data that they have to look at, they can almost kind of brush it off as if no big deal, right? That's not on him. He's showing lights out now. So we will see. Gator Nation says, listen, follow actual NFL scouts. Certain positions you bet on traits and quarterbacks is one. Have you heard Bama fans? Johnny, what have I heard? Bama fans have a little bit more to work with, though. Bama's won over the last 6 years, right? So that's my point on that. I didn't play much in quarterback in high school either. So how much can we put this on Florida? Look, here's what's going to happen. Here's how this is going to break down. He goes on and he becomes a great NFL quarterback. You've got the Miamis of the world, the Gator haters, the FSU fans. They're going to say, Florida sucks. They can't develop anybody. Georgia as well. And look, you're going to have every right to do that. Can we say that because of what happened? Look, you had Dan Mullen, the quarterback guru in there that was over him, right? And now we had, Mullen or Napier come in and have just a year with him. So how much can we put it on the Florida? I don't know. But look, if you're an opposing fan, you're going to fully abuse that and use that to your advantage, as you should. When it's anytime there's a shit-talking battle, you should. And again, we as Florida fans right now are all, it's kind of done and over with, the season's over with, and now we're all claiming Anthony is a Gator great because he's looking like an absolute stud in the combine. And that's part of being a fanatic, right? That's part of how that cookie crumbles. But a lot of good things are coming out. Ian Rappaport even spoke today where, look, they had him going probably in that second tier of quarterbacks, still going late first round. But a lot of the teams that are looking at him, including Indianapolis, who have mentioned trading up to that first round draft pick, have been in conversations with Anthony. The Raiders have been in conversation with Anthony. A lot of teams that are in the looks for quarterbacks have been in conversations with Anthony Richardson. I also heard that his interview again did really well. And yes, hashtag 6 points. Danny Thompson. Danny Thompson's got a lot of flack as well going into this season on developing quarterbacks. Now he's about to send this one to the NFL, and I think, look, out of the quarterbacks, Thompson's going to get either a lot of credit for this one, or he could also take a lot of hit for this one as well. Because to be fair, how much development did anybody? He's had probably the most time with Anthony and the most ability to develop Anthony as well. So we will see. Steve says, I don't think AR was coming back no matter what. And I don't disagree. He probably wasn't, but we definitely, Gator fans, didn't help them out of the situation, right? That's kind of what I was getting at. But we'll see. We'll see how he handles it, how he manages it. He seems pretty cool, calm and collected right now. He's kind of in his own state, his own rhythm. And he's doing really, really well. So Let's see. Let's talk about what's more likely. AR number 1 pick or him sliding to the back of the first round. I put the bank on first overall pick. That is very interesting, TK Gator Nation. What's more likely to happen? This hype slows down when it gets closer to and he falls, or it ramps up and he goes number 1. You're thinking that it ramps up and he ends up going number 1. That's the more likely. Honestly, I think the hype falls. Something's going to knock a noodle loose. I could be wrong. If he continues to perform like he's performing, I think a lot of teams are going to have a hard time turning their head to this. Like, we can't pass up on this. And this goes back to my Bryce Young situation where it's like, yeah, we know what Bryce can do, but Anthony's going to be the new shiny toy that you're looking at. It's like, how do we pass up on this physical specimen, right? Again, it's going to be very interesting to see how things play out. I'm excited to see how it plays out. We'll be live, obviously, for the draft. Daniel says he will get drafted, but it'll be 3rd round. See, Daniel, like, sometimes I love your energy and I love when you come here and talk shit, but then you just completely throw from the hip there. So Coach Kevin, he's throwing right now. Anthony is throwing currently. If he's throwing right now, I wish I could pull it up live because that would be something to keep an eye on if he's throwing live right now. Make sure we drop a like, show some love, boys. I appreciate you guys as always for stopping by here. So we are going over all things Florida football right now, including Anthony Richardson into the combine. Next, we've got, Billy had his presser today. We're going to talk about that a little bit, go over what he spoke about. So we talked about defense, Austin Armstrong coming in, how the team was adjusting to it, why he chose Austin Armstrong so fast. Very interesting to hear him talk about that, right? His big names, guys he's got on the list right now who have stepped up and who are doing very well. He said, look, there's probably more on the list, but these are the names that popped up right away. Talked about filling in the coaching, tight ends, wide receivers. We're going to go over that. In the quarterback room, how we're looking with that. So AR is looking so good and throwing the ball great. It's interesting, boys. It is interesting. Let me see if I can pull up the Twitter here if I can get any clips from this. I've got the combine recording for this reason. Let's see here, latest. God, could you imagine? Here we go. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. I'll get this pulled up really quick here, and we will have a beautiful visual experience here for you boys. Let's get this screen share going here, and then we will show you guys Anthony Richardson throwing some absolute. That's not what we want. Woo, boy. Sorry, you had to see me twice there, big guys. All right, here we go. All right, let me go ahead and get this pulled up here. Here we go. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my. This is what I was talking about. Did you guys see him just literally flick that? Oh, my goodness. He flicked it with ease. How far was that? Oh, my goodness. From the 15, it looks like. From the 10. Oh, to the 30? Oh, my gosh. Just throwing with ease in the breadbasket. His confidence is through the roof right now, boys. He is feeling good. Wow. Wow. Oh, man. Man. Yeah, threw a dart from the 10-yard to the opposing. Well, it was 30. Coach Kevin overselling a little bit. And that's fine. Wow. Good stuff there, boys. Good stuff there. 60-yard bomb with ease. Again, flicked it with the wrist. Moving on. Let's go again. Let's talk about these other topics that we have here lined up for us today. Again, a jam-packed show on Saturday. That stuff fires me up. So I'm loving it. Like I said, so Austin Armstrong, Billy spoke to this a little bit. Hall of Fame media, where was that shit last year? He had a couple of those. So he talked about Austin Armstrong coming in and what that meant for the Gators. They asked him kind of how was he transitioning into that role. And he said, look, the reason why the decision was made so quickly is he understands what we're doing here, right? He understands the each phase that we have. He understands the defense. It's a pretty easy transition for us here at Florida, and that was why the decision was made, and that's also why we've taken a little bit longer in the other positions here. It almost felt like he was very excited for Austin Armstrong. Like it was like a no-brainer for him when he was talking about it. They did mention a little bit kind of, Corey Raymond taking over the second half with age and how he's being respected. This weekend is very important for Austin Armstrong and for just Florida Gators in general. There is a lot of talent there in recruiting for 2024. DJ is there. DJ's walking around like a coach right now. There was a photo that surfaced. Looks like he's just kind of walking around and, he's working, right? He's not visiting anymore. He's not coming around to see if he wants, he's 100% bought in. And it's great to be able to have somebody like that. It's almost like he's part of the coaching staff each weekend that he comes. Jordan Pride is there. He is on Flip Alert from Florida State. This is a lot of visits for him. That one almost seems like a lock at this point for how many times he's been visiting. Jonathan Daniels, the 5-star offensive tackle, is there. Mason Short from 2025, he is there, another 5-star offensive tackle. So good to see all the talent that is there this weekend. And again, with Austin Armstrong, this being his first weekend there, all the recruits coming in, a very big weekend for Austin Armstrong to be able to have an impact, not only on the field, right, but with recruiting as well. So it's going to be great to see how he does. I was hoping to hear him at the presser, but it was just Billy and Mark Hawk today, which I can always, give me some Mark Hawk. Mark Hawk has that energy that we all love, but I'm excited to hear from Austin Armstrong, hear what he has to say. And look, I think Austin Armstrong can make us all settle with some ease if he can land us a big talent defensive player here over the next month or so. So it'll be interesting to see what he's able to do. I'm loving it. So next we have what Billy was going over is standout players thus far, who on his list. And here's who he had to name, which I was excited to hear. Austin Barber, who we are in conversation with right now to get him back on the show to talk to him a little bit. Good to hear from him, especially now that spring ball's here. We've got, David Connor coming on Monday. We'll talk to him, how spring ball was for him, his first few days as well. He said Kingsley as well, and then both running backs obviously doing a great job, Montrell and Trevor Etienne. I think Trevor, when we spoke with him just a few weeks ago, you felt that he was ready to bring the hammer and take over that leadership role. There was a clip of him as well saying, look, we're excited. I'm ready to show these guys, and speak to these guys. I had questions last year. Now they're asking the same things that I did, right? But I've already gone through this, so I'm ready to rock and roll. So it'll be good to see how these guys step up. That was on the offense. On the defensive side, we had Wingo, Boone stepping up, Jason, and Crawshaw. Those are kind of his other leaders that he mentioned. And Scooby Williams was moved to inside linebacker to edge this evening. That was also announced today as well. So a lot of big changes, a lot of good things. The vibe's back, right? Again, the energy is there. Things are looking good. You guys saw the clip here of Graham Mertz throwing the ball around a little bit, as well as Jack Miller and Max Brown. He spoke about the quarterback room as well, so we're going to get into that. We're rolling, moving, and grooving here. It's looking good. Mr. Wicks says, thank God Pearsaw's coming back. I love it. Still hard to believe Armstrong is only 30. Hopefully we can hire a wide receiver and tight end coach soon. I love how 3 of our defensive linemen are wearing 8, 11, and 24. The numbers were announced today. Nobody has number 1, but however, Graham Mertz is rocking the number 15. That has happened today. As you guys can see right there in the video, he is rocking 15, so it looks like we have passed that on, but no number 1 has been decided. Sharif Denton is rocking number 0. Again, Trey Dean obviously had 0 prior to that. So who had number 11? I think A. Mazzell and Kelby Collins are both rocking 11 on each side of the ball. So it's good to see. Look, I don't think anybody's really taken away the quarterback room just yet. Let's go ahead and talk about that next. I don't know where my let's see here where my title went, but quarterback room. So you mentioned this as well. Yeah, so for the quarterback room, he said, look, they're working both hard. He says Jack is obviously having a little bit more, he's more comfortable with this being his second time through. He said Graham is doing a great job of stepping up and getting to know the guys, getting to know the system, but obviously he is a little step behind right now to Jack. And he even said Max Brown's doing well. Max Brown to me, I saw him standing next to the other guys, looked solid, looked bigger than I remember. I felt like Max Brown was small. Guy looked like he put on some size, so offseason he's been eating, looking stud. Muddy even says happy to see Max Brown ditch baseball to be at spring ball. Yeah, smart man. I couldn't agree more. I think we were a little concerned that he was playing baseball, but Good to see that Max is there as well, too. So I think we're going to have an interesting quarterback competition on our hands this spring ball. Hopefully we'll have a little bit, somebody take it away. I know Anthony obviously started to slide away towards, at the very beginning. I think the orange and blue game really set himself apart. I think this is going to be one of the most highly anticipated. Last year we were pretty highly anticipated orange and blue game. I think just with all that's happened over the last few months here, this spring game is going to be just even highly more anticipated just due to the fact that that quarterback room seems wide open, the running back room looks exciting, and then obviously the offensive line looks resurfaced. Mark Hawk did speak to Deontay Goodwin. He goes, that guy's an absolute beast. Even with his size, he's very flexible and mobile and athletic. Again, even with his size, excited to see him there. So, look, love it. I love just the clips. It's fun to get these clips again of seeing these guys playing football. Everyone's talking about the energy, the buzz, the excitement. Again, this was last year, but we got new culture coming in here, boys. We got the squads coming in. So it is really good and exciting to see this happen. Max Brown is my dark horse favorite to win the quarterback job. When I saw him step up, I go, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like that happen. You know what I mean? It seems crazy, but I wouldn't sleep on Max Brown, boys. That was a Napier pickup last year that kind of went under the radar. Don't forget, Kyle Trask was a 3-star as well. Could we see something like a Max Brown? Is Max Brown a guy for this year, though? Is he maybe next year is a Max Brown, DJ's freshman year? I mean, I think next spring ball with DJ coming in is going to be a big year as well, too. Obviously, that spring game is going to be highly anticipated, especially with DJ Lagway coming in. But yes, Andy Jean was another name that Coach Billy mentioned as well. That's somebody who's having a very exciting spring ball as well. So Justice Boone right there looking really good, looking fired up. We got Fiburn coming in there. Hashtag shower thoughts. You know how that rock and rolls. Boys and girls, make sure you drop a like, show some love. Got over 80 in here. I appreciate you guys coming out with me and hanging out on this Saturday afternoon. Again, right now, Anthony Richardson is throwing. If I see any more throws, we will pop it in. But man, the energy is through the roof right now for Anthony Richardson, breaking records, throwing absolute piss missiles, boys. It's exciting to see. It's fun. Football is here in all shapes and forms, and we're excited to talk about it. That's for damn sure. All right, real quick, let's go over the wide receiver coaches. So, Coach mentioned that as well. He basically said, "Look, we doing some thorough searches." Complimented the guys who did go to the NFL, spoke to that. He's like, look, I think it's a compliment to them and to our staff for these guys going to the NFL. Happy for them. He's like, look, we're definitely taking our time, but expect a decision shortly. So he goes, like, I haven't had much time. They say, 3 weeks. He goes, was it 3 weeks? He goes, feels like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? But he said it should be happening soon. So I don't know who that's going to be, but I think we're all ready to go. I think we as a fan base will feel a little more comfortable once that happens. Obviously, just due to the fact that, with the coaches, it feels like there's an empty hole. We want that complete closure so we can go ahead and put that behind us and, start tackling the spring season one at a time. But again, the wide receiver coach, tight end coach, Billy has that under his belt as a former wide receiver coach, doesn't feel too concerned about it. And again, he did speak to Austin Armstrong being able to transition into his system due to the fact that he has been in Billy's system before. And he even kind of had a little bit of a flex in his press conference, which was weird because you know how Billy is. He's pretty calm. He goes, look, a lot of those guys that were on that Louisiana team are all now respective defensive coordinators at their respective schools. So it's almost like we produced some studs. You know what I mean? We've been able to pump out and some great talent, some great coaches from that Louisiana team. So I think he's kind of speaking volumes of like, look, we've got a good thing going here. So like I said, it just feels good that football is back. Muddy says, what's up with Big Dez? You interviewed him a while ago. Did he look 450 like 247 is saying? Everyone keeps asking me about that. To be honest with you, bro, if I saw 450 and 358, I don't know if I could tell you if I knew the difference, to be honest with you. Muscle and fat looks different, right? So sometimes somebody could look 450 fat and somebody look like 450 muscle, and it looks completely different. I'm not surrounded by 350 plus men every day. So for me to give you a reasonable response, right, or a respectable answer, I don't know if I would feel confident enough to tell you, hey, he's 450 or 389. But he told me on that podcast 2 weeks ago that he was 389 and that he had his eating in check. He was feeling good, feeling the best he's ever said. Why would he lie about that? I don't know. I don't know when the last time he had weighed himself. But 389 to 450, that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight to move up in 2 weeks, right? Eddie says, I think Princely will have a great season. Princely was also one that Billy mentioned as well, so I don't disagree with you, Eddie. Jack Fiburn looking jacked. He's the next Brian Bosworth. I would love that. He needs the haircut, though. He's got to fully send the haircut if he wants to take on that role, and I would be a big fan of that. So we will see. That the noise about Dez is kind of crazy. Seems to be true from what I'm hearing. Maybe he weighed himself when he came and talked to me 2 weeks prior to that, and he was still riding that weight. I don't know. Boys. Look, I mean, Austin Barber, taller, bigger. What did he weigh in at? Can we get a weight for Austin Barber? Does anybody know what that weight is? And I mean, I'm just comparing what I was sitting with. You know what I mean? But we will see. Make sure we drop a like, guys. Show some love. Let's you two know that we're doing a good thing when you guys show us some love and support there. I do appreciate that. So means a lot to us. Any updates on tight end coach that can coach and bring in Pitch 2.0? Like I said, just mentioned that kind of where it's not too for sure yet on what's happening. But again, a big weekend for recruiting. A lot of talent there this weekend. DJ Lagwa is there. Mason Short is there. He's the number 2 ranked offensive tackle in 2025. This is his second time visiting. We all know what DJ has said on his focus on offensive tackles. So that would be a big one there for us. Again, Charles Lester. He returns to camp tomorrow. Believe he's a 5-star cornerback. That's going to be a big one for us, right? Adarius Hayes will also be in attendance for his first spring practice. So it's good to have these guys come in and see these practices, rocking and rolling. Again, Charles Lester being a 5-star stud. They got him 4 and on 3, but I know at 247 has him at 5-star. Alabama right now is where on 3 has him favored. Again, that would be a big one for us to be able to pull off cornerback there. And then we have Josiah Davis. Again, he will be visiting this weekend as well. And I already mentioned Jordan Pride, who is committed to Florida State right now currently. He's a Florida State safety committed a while ago, the 16th ranked safety. He has been on high flip alert for a while now. IMG boy, who he's been visiting Florida a lot. So that looks good. And then again, number one offensive tackle, Jonathan Daniels. That's interesting. It kind of depends on where you look. I know Cam Pringle was the number one offensive tackle at one point. Now it looks like it is Jonathan Daniels. It is interesting to see. I'm looking at the on 3 right now. Florida State has him projected to go to Florida State at 84.8%, and Florida's at 1.7. I want to say that was closer earlier in the week. I want to say it was like 30 to 40, and Florida was higher. So for the fact that he's visiting right now and that number dropped is very interesting. Again, we always got to take these things with a grain of salt, but I like looking at it. It gives us something to compare to and what's happening. So, Mr. Wicks, thanks, Shelton. You're the man, my guy. No problem, Bubba. No problem. Thought the position switches were interesting. Scooby now playing edge rusher and Jamarcus Weston playing safety now. I did notice that with Scooby, but look, we brought a lot of talent in for that linebacker position, so that could speak to that on why Scooby might feel himself better fit in that edge rusher. I don't know. Again, with a lot of guys coming in from the transfer portal, maybe there was hey, you're going to slide down the roster list, but you're talented. Let's move you to this position here. So again, a busy first day. Excited to be back. Excited to feel football again. I just had to go live. I had to talk about it. It was we had a presser today. You got Anthony slinging darts. Just a lot of things going on. It's crazy that football is this powerful, and that we're able to talk about it like this already in March. But I love it. I'm trying to find if there's any other Anthony clips that we can pull up before I send it off. My goodness, boys, this man is just throwing absolute darts. I'm telling you, boys, we may be kicking ourselves. How do receivers look? Pearsall looked great. I didn't see much from the clips on anybody else, but I did look. Ricky looked good. Looked like he run the route well. The safeties and cornerbacks, I saw Sharif Denton catch a few. He looked good off the tape that I was watching. So we will see. Hurts will make us hurt. You think so, Rob? You think so? Well, boys and girls, phenomenal little pop-up show here. I appreciate you guys stopping by, hanging out, saying hey. Make sure, again, we drop a like, show some love. It was again, first day. We'll be obviously live Wednesday at 8:35, where we'll probably have some more information, a couple more days under our belt. We'll have the boys back on to have their discussion, their thoughts on everything of what's happening. And we'll see. James Manning says, love your show. Would love to get with you during your call-in shows and go over current NFL news. I come to you for Gator News, but I am all over NFL current events and rumors. James, absolutely. Give us a call, man. Love to hear about you. We are working on putting together more of an NFL show, especially for the Jaguars. That is something that's the next project here at High Top Sports. So we're continuing to grow, continuing to get bigger, and you guys obviously mean a lot by showing us some love. So pull him running the 40. Okay, I got you. I've got the clip of it actually right here, boss. Here it is. Here is AR just absolutely slinging it down the line, boys. He only ran one, by the way. One and done. One and done here for Anthony Richardson. Just an absolute speed demon. 4-4, boys. Look at that. Boom! That's it. That's it. Putting on the burners. Putting on the absolute burners. It's good to see. Good for him. Good for him. All the shit that he went through at Florida, I mean, it's good to see him having some success now. So, I love it. Well, boys, love you guys as always. Appreciate y'all for hanging out here.
Scared money don't make money, you know?
How about them Gators?
Make sure you guys turn the bell on because you don't know when we're going to go live. Obviously, with news popping up with the football back, things are going to be coming and going. And we don't know when it's going to be spicy and dicey. So make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe, turn the bell on. If it's not turned on, make sure you guys turn it on so you know, like I said, when we do go live, especially when we do our call-in shows. The call-in shows, I only anticipate to heat up. During the season, those are going to be electric. I cannot wait. Monday, we will be going live with David Connor to play Madden with him on our Madden Monday series. So, again, be sure to tune in. Got a jam-packed show, baby, every day. So, love you guys. Appreciate you. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show.